The air was thick with tension as I sat in the dimly lit corner booth of our favorite neighborhood bar, nursing a glass of whiskey. The clinking of glasses and the murmur of conversations around me seemed distant, almost surreal. My mind was elsewhere, replaying the conversation I had overheard just hours earlier. It was a conversation that had shattered my world, leaving me numb and disoriented. I can't believe she's been doing this for 8 years, I muttered to myself, taking another sip of the burning liquid. The words stung like acid, each one a dagger to my heart. How could I have been so blind? How could I have missed the signs? The memory of that fateful afternoon played out in my mind like a broken record. I had gone to pick up some groceries at the local market, only to find myself standing outside the entrance, hidden by the shadows of the building. My wife, Emily, was inside, chatting animatedly with her friend, Sarah. They were laughing, their voices carrying through the open windows. I should have walked away, but something compelled me to stay, to listen. Emily, you have to tell him, Sarah had said, her voice tinged with urgency. He deserves to know. Emily's response was swift and defensive. No, Sarah. You promised you wouldn't say anything. This is my life, and I can handle it. My heart had skipped a beat. What was she hiding? What secret was so damning that she felt the need to keep it from me? But he loves you, Sarah pleaded. He thinks everything is perfect. He doesn't deserve this kind of deception. Deception. The word echoed in my mind, a haunting refrain. Emily's voice softened, but the words that followed were like a punch to the gut. I know, Sarah, but it's complicated. We have a good life together. I don't want to ruin that. Ruin that. The irony was not lost on me. My life, my marriage, my everything ruined by secrets and lies. By the time they emerged from the market, I was already gone, my mind racing with questions and doubts. Back at the bar, the whiskey did little to dull the pain. I stared at the amber liquid, watching it swirl as if seeking answers within its depths. 8 years. 8 years of lies. 8 years of stolen moments and hidden truths. Anger began to simmer beneath the surface, replacing the initial shock. How dare she? How dare she betray me like this? The bartender approached, sensing my distress. Rough day? He asked, his tone sympathetic. I nodded, unable to form words. The weight of the revelation was too heavy, pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. Another round? He offered, gesturing to my empty glass. I shook my head. No, thanks. I need to clear my head. As I stood, the room seemed to tilt, the walls closing in. I needed space, needed to think. I needed to confront her. The thought of seeing Emily again, of hearing her voice, made my stomach churn, but I couldn't ignore this any longer. I had to face the truth, no matter how painful it might be. Stepping out into the cool evening air, I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. The walk home was a blur, my thoughts consumed by the impending confrontation. When I finally reached our front door, my hand trembled as I turned the key in the lock. The house was quiet, save for the soft hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. Emily was in the living room, curled up on the couch with a book. She looked up as I entered, a smile lighting up her face. Hey, you're home early, she said, setting the book aside. How was your day? Her innocence, her genuine concern, made my blood boil. How could she act so normal, so unaffected, after what she had done? We need to talk, I said, my voice cold and unyielding. Her smile faltered, replaced by a look of confusion. What's wrong? I didn't answer right away, letting the silence stretch between us. Her eyes searched mine, growing wider with each passing second. Mark, what happened? Are you okay? Did you really think you could keep this from me forever? I spat, the words cutting through the air like a knife. Her face paled, and she recoiled as if struck. Mark, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play dumb, Emily, I snapped. I know everything. I heard you and Sarah today. 8 years, Emily, 8 years of lies. Her mouth opened and closed, but no sound came out. Tears welled up in her eyes, and she looked away, unable to meet my gaze. Mark, please, let me explain. Explain? Explain what? That you've been cheating on me for 8 years? That you've been living a double life? My voice cracked, the anger giving way to raw emotion. She flinched at the accusation, her hands trembling. It's not what you think, she whispered, her voice barely audible. Then what is it, Emily? Tell me, I demanded, stepping closer, looming over her. She swallowed hard, tears streaming down her cheeks. I never meant to hurt you. I love you, Mark. I always have. Love me? Is that what you call it? I sneered, my heart breaking all over again. You betrayed me, Emily. You betrayed us. She shook her head, desperation in her eyes. Please, Mark, just listen to me. Let me explain. I hesitated, the weight of her plea tugging at my resolve. Could there be more to this story? Could there be a reason, a justification for her actions? Or was this just another lie, another attempt to manipulate me? Fine, I said, my voice softening slightly. Explain. Make me understand. She took a deep breath, her eyes meeting mine once more. It started a long time ago, before we were even married. There was someone else, someone I cared about deeply. But when we got together, I chose you. I chose us. So why continue the affair? I asked, my voice laced with bitterness. Because I was scared, she admitted, her voice trembling. Scared of losing you, of losing everything we built. And then it became a habit, a way to cope with the fear. But it never changed how I felt about you, Mark, I swear. Her words hung in the air, heavy with regret and sorrow. I wanted to believe her, to find a way to forgive her, but the betrayal was too fresh, too raw. How could I trust her again? How could I move past this? I need time, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Time to think, to process all of this. She nodded, tears still falling. Take all the time you need. Just don't leave me, Mark, please. I turned away, unable to bear the sight of her pleading face. The weight of the decision ahead of me pressed down, suffocating. Should I stay and try to rebuild what we had, or should I walk away, cut my losses, and start anew? The choice was mine, and the path I chose would determine the fate of our marriage.